Anna, for our English-speaking audience, what do you think about Meghan Markle interview? I think it was horrible, horrible, horrible. I mean, why speak badly about your family? Why? Why? Where's your loyalty to your family? Shoshana, I think your voice is a bit difficult. Do you want me to speak for you, your opinions? Yeah, okay. I'm a sore throat. כן, קשה קצת היום לדבר. אז שושנה חושבת שזה לא יפה sorry, in English again. Shoshana thinks that it's not nice to speak badly about your family because one day Archie will grow up and what kind of base will he have for a family? Disconnect from both sides. Not speaking, people not speaking, and bad mouthing, one sided accusations. I think it's time to realize that these kind of behaviors damage children. When we speak, my mother said to me, do not, Safta Miriam, you didn't meet her. She said, don't speak badly about the father of your children. Now, she did that quite a lot. So she didn't practice what she preached, which was a difficult thing. When you're a parent, you have to practice what you preach. You can't say to the children, oh, compassion, compassion, helping other people, and you don't even speak to your own elderly father for whatever reason. Or you don't speak to your family on both sides because you're holding grudges. You can't teach a child to be peaceful and nice to other children if he doesn't see that at home. Like Archie's going to start talking beyond crocodile and say, Mommy, how come you don't speak to Grandpa? How come I don't have any grandfathers? How come I don't have any grandmothers? How come I don't have any cousins? How come I only play with millionaire children? How come I only have Oprah Winfrey and I don't have a grandma or a grandfather? Or I have only one grandma and she was in prison? Why? Grandma's stories about prisons are nice, but how come I don't have what happened to Grandpa Charles and step-grandmama Camilla and all my cousins in Britain? Are they all bad people? But I see that and Archie's going to grow up and he's going to see all the good stuff the royal family has done. He's going to see how the great-grandmother was really standing strong during World War II. With the Allies against fascism. And then he's going to ask, how come you're so mean to these people? How come you say they're racist and I'm white as a bar of soap? How come you think they're being racist to me? And he's going to ask questions. And he's going to meet parents. He's going to maybe watch the interview. God knows not a lot of people can watch 2 hours. He's going to ask questions. And the biggest question a child can ask is, how come you have grudges and fights with everybody? And as a person who's not getting along with all the family, I can tell the kids, my family was not nice to me and I chose to disconnect. And I have family who chose to disconnect with me. But given the choice, I would be friends with everybody. And to hold grudges is never good. At one point, you have to release them, Archie. That's what I would say. And be a good example for your children by not speaking badly about other people. Speaking badly about other people is quite a violent act. Speaking badly about other people that cannot defend themselves because you're not talking to them directly is quite bad. It's not a very good communicative mode. You should speak to the people directly. Every time you speak about other people, it's always a bad choice. I don't care who is interviewing you. If a person is enabling this, it's sad. Oprah Winfrey doesn't have children. She doesn't care, but people who have children somebody should tell Migraine and has-been that you can't, sorry, I have to do that. I have to make fun, right, Shoshana? Somebody should really tell them to just shut up about their family and stop bad-mouthing because it doesn't make them better people. And there are a lot of questions a lot of people are asking, and I'm really happy and relieved to see. People just don't want to believe them. They see that what Migraine is saying has more holes than a Swiss cheese. So many holes, so many things that contradict. She didn't know who the queen was. She didn't know. And you know what? Archie's going to ask questions, and he's going to be a very lonely boy if he doesn't have contact with his family. And I think I definitely see that both of these people have problems. And I think Oprah Winfrey is making money from their misery. And I think it's time to say the truth. And Piers Morgan, to be fired because you just say, I don't believe this. I saw Bill Maher, he's brilliant, and he said CBS is see the BS. It was a lot of BS. Let's admit it. There were so many contradictions and so many things that are like you can't believe them because they just seem to contradict logic. And we're allowed to criticize. We're allowed to not believe. Maybe the way he said it was not very, how can I say it, diplomatic. But I think a person who knows somebody who's very irritating and just really picking and choosing who I can be friends with so I can get a better position in society, they develop an allergy. And I can understand how migraine is a trigger for Piers Morgan because he knows her personally. So there's a saying, if you want to get to know somebody, have lunch with their ex-wife. I'm sure the ex-husband could tell a lot of stories. And amongst them that he received his wedding and engagement ring in the post. How nice. So much compassion. And we see time and again the choices that both of these people are making. Harry wore a Nazi uniform. Come on, man. And now you're accusing your whole family of being racist for, we don't even know if it happened, to ask what is the color of the baby. But you wore a Nazi uniform. That's a statement. That's an identification with Nazis. And let's not forget the other ginger person in the family. He was supposed to be King Edward VII. Did you know Shoshana? He was a very big fan of Nazism and a good friend of Hitler. And if it hadn't been for the American divorcee, Simpson Wallace, he would have been King of England. And England would have been on the side of Nazi Germany. And you can imagine, just have to imagine how that would have changed the whole World War II scenario. And Winston Churchill would have been in prison maybe. So we have to realize that these are very serious allegations from a person who openly, nobody forced him to wear a Nazi uniform, unlike the Hitler Youth that maybe were part of the very fascist society. Nobody forced Harry to wear a Nazi uniform. And he wasn't a child when he was doing it. And what we know about him, the choices he made, as well as migraine, do not really constitute a person that could point the finger at somebody and blame somebody for something. And don't forget, when you're pointing the finger at somebody, there are fingers pointing at you too. So what I didn't see is self-criticism. What I didn't see is any thoughts that they might have done anything wrong. And what I didn't see is gratitude for having a very privileged life when so many people struggle. So many people have problems, and nothing about other people. Only me. And is this the kind of philosophy you want to pass on to children? Me. And we're enabling it. How many YouTube channels talk about this interview? But I'm very happy to see that most of them are questioning and criticizing these people. But you know what? You don't have to talk so much. Like I've been talking almost 10 minutes about this interview. All you have to do is ask yourself, is this promoting peace? That's what a yoga teacher told me. Every time you think whether you should say something or not, is this promoting peace, love, and light? And the answer is absolutely not. It doesn't promote good relationships. It doesn't promote peace. To talk about your mental health issues with Oprah Winfrey instead of a therapist doesn't help. It doesn't promote mental health. And if you were part of this movement towards helping people talk about mental health issues, that's not how you do it. First, you go to therapy, you do the work yourself, and you don't just go hire somebody and just talk about all your issues, that actually can be a trigger for a lot of people. So for those who fired Piers Morgan, shame on you. That could be a trigger for people. Saying I wanted to kill myself by a famous person can be a trigger to a lot of people that face horrible mental issues. And there's so many people around the world that have so many issues. So saying I had a lot of mental issues and even though I'm a multimillionaire I couldn't get help is very discouraging. Because, you know, a lot of people can't afford a therapist. But Meghan Markle didn't offer any solutions. She was just talking about herself in a very narcissistic way. Me, me, me. She wasn't offering help for people that are in distress. And just talking about a topic doesn't actually help. Talking is not enough. The question is how you talk and whether you're offering solutions or you're just talking about yourself. Just talking about yourself in a monologue doesn't promote mental health. First of all, do the job, do the work, go to see a therapist, talk about it, and think whether you should be exposing that to people that are facing horrible mental health issues and don't have the resources and don't have Oprah Winfrey. So what's the point, really? That's what I'm asking. So if there's a good message I could bring into this talk is saying, please bring back Piers Morgan. I really loved his honesty, and that we need more people like him. Calling the empire naked when the emperor is naked when he's empire is oh look, beautiful. I want to show something beautiful. Wow, look, skydiving. That's what I want to see. Isn't this beautiful? Oh, I hope it doesn't fall. So we need more people like Piers Morgan. So bring him back. I want people who are more honest. And yoga. Do yoga. I didn't hear that she's doing yoga. Oh my gosh, she's back again. Let's see her. Flying. So I'm going to end with this. Ooh, I'm chasing it. And then I'm going to do yoga. And if anybody's having mental issues, definitely don't listen to that interview. It just makes it worse. Oh, look at it. Wow. Isn't this beautiful? Life is full of surprises. Like the quote from Forrest Gump, a great movie. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And that is what I would say. If I could meet Migraine and Has Been, I would say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But you know what? You can Google it ahead of time. Peace, light, and love. It's okay to laugh at things, but also realize that the goal is to have a better life, to have a better day. And wow. And just enjoy. Go somewhere in nature and just breathe. Connect to a plant, an animal, sky. Peace, light, and love. Thank you for listening to my talk.